Today we're checking out the Traxxas TRX4 High Trail. This is the F-150 Ranger XLT model. I've wanted one of these trucks forever and I'm so glad to get my hands on one. So we're going to jump into this. I'm going to go over the key features. We're going to talk about what I've done to this one in particular, and then we're going to go hit the trails and see how it performs. So let's jump in and check this thing out. So let's talk first impressions before we get into this thing. So first impressions of the High Trail, it just looks so cool. Traxxas just did such a good job appealing to the inner child of RC enthusiasts, I feel. When you walk into a hobby shop and you see this thing on the shelf, it is hard not to love it because it's just oozing nostalgia and cool factor. With the licensed scale bodies and the details that they put on there, they look fantastic. And then you add the lift and the big 2.2 wheels and tires on here, the whole thing just looks super cool. And even though you know that it's going to perform atrociously because of the high ride height and the narrow stance, you can't help but be drawn to it because it just is so cool looking. So the High Trail, as impractical as it is from a rock crawler standpoint, has got to be one of the coolest trucks in ready to run form that you can buy, I think. Now this one is black, and I've basically converted it into the special edition, the black version that Traxxas offers, but it started off as blue and I actually got this used. Shout out to my friend Nick who hooked me up with a great deal on this truck. If I was going to buy one new, I was leaning more towards the Blazer, so I really didn't have the Ranger on the top of my list, but now that I have it, I really like it. And I'm glad that I did because of the three models, the K10 and the Ranger both have a longer wheelbase. So optimistically, we should get better performance from a vertical standpoint compared to the Blazer, which has the shorter wheelbase and the bigger body up top. I do love the Blazer though. I'm really torn. So I'll just go over real quick what I've done to this one. I converted the body over, so I bought the black body. I put the chrome roll bar on here. This is a functional roll bar, so it does light up. I did the Pro Scale light kit on it, so it has functioning headlights, turn signals, brake lights, reverse lights, all of that. I did the Traxxas push bar on here, and that's pretty much it. It was a really fun project. I love how it came out. I'm kind of doing this video selfishly because I know with the black body it's never going to look this good again. So before it gets out and gets all rashed up, I really wanted to do this video. So first impressions, I adore this truck. It is just so cool looking. So now let's get into this thing. Let's check out some of the key features. The High Trail's been out for a little while. There's been a lot of great content already put out on it. So I'm going to hit the key features pretty quickly, and then I really want to focus on driving impressions. I want to get this thing out, hit the trails, hit some rocks with it, show you guys how it performs in a bunch of different areas, and then give you my driving impressions as we're going. So let's jump in and check out the key features now. All right, let's get into the key features. I'm going to give you the highlights on this thing. So with the exterior, the most striking thing is the wheels and tires. So you've got 2.2-inch polished aluminum wheels on here with the Canyon Trail tires glued onto the wheels. We talked about the body. This has the officially licensed Ford F-150 Ranger body on it. This comes in 3 different colors, has the blue, the brown, and then the special edition black, like what we have here. The body is able to clear these big tires because of the lift kit that Traxxas has installed. So this has the long arm lift kit, factory installed from Traxxas. That is an optional kit that you can put on a TRX4, but it's already installed on this one. That kit gives us immense ground clearance underneath this thing. And if you were to look at this, it's a little tough to see with my measuring tool here, but it's about 3.5 inches underneath the center of the body from a ground clearance perspective. And then even in the front, you can almost get my entire, I think I can actually, it's about 2.5 inches to the lowest point on the axles there underneath. So it just has immense ground clearance. And that's from a combination of different things. It's got the lift kit, which raises the center of the chassis, but then it's also got the portal axles factory installed from Traxxas as well. And that's really what gives you all of that ground clearance in the center of the truck, not just underneath the belly. So when you are driving through pretty gnarly conditions, the combination of tire height, portals, and lift kit really give you crazy amounts of clearance to get over some pretty gnarly rocks and obstacles. This body does feature the clipless body mounts, which makes removal and installation very easy. Really appreciate this setup. Now, as you can see underneath here, this one does have the Pro Scale light kit, so it has a little bit of an extra step to take the body off. I have to unplug some wires here. But otherwise, removal of the body is very simple. The Pro Scale light kit is very cool. Pretty pricey upgrade for what it is, I feel, at $99, but it does give it a very scale look and feel to it. Has the headlights, high and low beam, turn signals front and rear, marker lights, gives it a very authentic look. And I did wire up the light bar at the top, so this thing is lit up like a Christmas tree. Underneath the body, we can see our electronics here. So on the passenger side, we've got the TQI receiver. This does come in a waterproof box. I've got the lid off now because I've been messing with the light kit, but that does come sealed up. On the driver's side, you've got the Traxxas XL5 HV ESC. And again, I put my light control module and things right here. Take the battery out here. So a couple of cool things. So Traxxas does give you the center mounted battery, and there is a smaller indentation here if you wanted to run a smaller pack to keep that center of gravity down. If you also wanted to run a smaller pack up front, there is an additional auxiliary battery mount right there in the front if you wanted to put some more weight up front to help with performance. This has the Titan 21 turn 550 size brush motor. It has a lot of power. It does a great job. And part of that is due to the 2-speed transmission that Traxxas offers as standard. So that's one of the things I really like about Traxxas, is that this thing comes ready to go. It's got the 2-speed transmission already programmed and hooked up to the transmitter. It's got the rocker switch on the transmitter here. Very easy and smooth shifting between high and low gears. High gear is fast, especially on 3S. This thing is very quick. Low gear has nice slow crawl to it, but we'll get into that when we get into driving impressions. We're also able to electronically lock and unlock our differentials. So we've got our pair of servos here that operate this. So moving this switch on the top of the transmitter, moving it away from you locks the diffs, moving it towards you unlocks them. The high trail comes with the inner fenders already installed. It's got spots for rock lights ready to go. This also utilizes Traxxas's proprietary battery connector, so you got to make sure that you have a compatible battery and charger for this. Folks have snipped this off and you can wire in an XT60, but that is going to immediately void your warranty, just a heads up. Underneath you can see we've got a steel ladder style chassis here. We've got our metal links. These are the extended links that come with the long arm lift kit. Traxxas has also extended the drive shafts and taken other measures to maintain steering geometry, even though they've put the pretty substantial lift kit in here. We've got a waterproof metal geared servo up front. This does come ready to run, although you will need to supply your own battery and charger. I mentioned the remote. You get this TQI remote that comes with it. One last thing before we hit the trails, I do want to do some size comparisons. So I should have done this earlier, but from a visual perspective, the truck is big. I mean, you look at it against an SCX10, like here it is against my SCX10 Gladiator. It dwarfs the SCX10, not just in height. You expect it to be taller, but the body itself is just, it's bigger. Overall, just a more burly feel to it, which I think is period correct based on how these trucks were made. But that is one of the things that really stood out to me too, was just how big this truck is. I think that's it for the highlights. Why don't we go hit the trails so you can see this thing in action. Right at the gatekeeper of this trail, and see it go. So look at the slow crawl on this. I'm very impressed with it from a drivability, and this is on 3S too. So my 3S pack is dying, unfortunately. I was hoping to give you some speed demonstrations, but not gonna happen today, unfortunately. Yeah, bummer, just died right there. All right, I'm gonna throw my 2S in and then we'll hit the trail. So this also has the multimodal ESC. So what I wanna do is put this in crawl mode. There's 5 driving modes and I want crawl mode here. So I think if I press and hold this, it's the LED light blinking, we want the 5th one. 4. There, so we should be in crawl mode now. It's going to give me 100% drag brake and better overall settings for crawling, which is what we're going to be doing here. The approach angle from those axles and the tires, the height on this thing is, whoa, incredible. All right, we're getting there now. I can get through here without scratching my body up. Oh, nice. See here, I'm hung up on my trailer hitch there. I'm not gonna push it. I can see that thing's rolling any second. This thing actually surprises me out on the rock course here. It does pretty good considering what it is. Try to find some less aggressive spots to really try it out, but overall it's a lot of fun and does a lot better than I was expecting. It's certainly top heavy, and from a real steep vertical climb and kind of off camber and side hill suffers, but just pick your lines and realize that you're not in a comp crawler. You got to kind of take the bypass here and there. I just love the look of this truck. Out in the trails and out in the wild, seeing this thing in action, it looks so good. Oh, I'm hanging on there. Try to straighten it out, so now roll it good. This is where an extra powerful servo could really help. Steering's struggling out here in these rocks, turning these big tires, like that case in point right there. I'm trying to turn left, there we go. Oh, I'm in trouble here. Can I save it? I did. See, that's pretty aggressive right there for this type of truck. Again, the ESC on 2S, nice and smooth. The Canyon tires hook up really well. Look at that stuff in those big 2.2s. Oh, Oh, it sticks it. Oh. This is what I talk about picking a bypass. You know, I don't think I can make that corner, so I might just have to come down straight. I love the versatility of this truck. So you can come out of the trails and switch it into high gear and then rip it out in these open spots. So much fun. Here's a good crawling spot. Let's try one more section here. And then I'll probably head back. See how this thing does. Whoa. So even when it gets up there doing the tripod Jeep wave there, still able to control it and bring it back down. Oh, not that time. Definitely makes you enjoy your lines a lot more because it's pretty unpredictable. Yeah, it is planted and pretty stable for what it is, but you get those situations when those canyon tires hook up and all of a sudden it's up in a wheelie. There we go. It's up in a wheelie and hanging out in the air like that. It's super fun though. Drag brake is strong on crawler mode. Really helps with these technical sections, these downhills specifically. Oh, it saves it. I'm pretty impressed with that right there. That was a good line. You as impressed as I am? We made it over that? Wow. Holy, that might be some of my best driving ever right there, and I got it on camera for you guys. The high trail is blowing my mind right now. No. What a run from the high trail. Holy moly. Hang on to it. I don't want to lose it there. I'm starting to get too confident. Wow, that was so impressive. So on that note, I'm going to head out. That was an incredible run there with the high trail. Very surprising how well it did from an actual crawling perspective. Overall driving impressions, I really like this truck. I am really pleased with the TRX4 chassis setup. Overall, I'm really impressed with the TRX4 high trail and the TRX4 platform in general. The shifting between the gears is very smooth and reliable. Locking and unlocking the diffs is fun and also reliable. So the servos and the mechanisms to change those gears and operate those switches is very smooth and efficient, I feel. It's a very capable platform. Even with the lift and the big tires, it performed great out here. This is definitely where the high trail shines though, on these kind of flat, moderately aggressive areas. You can really put those long shocks and the big tires to use, have some fun. Body-wise, we took a little bit of damage, not too bad. It took some decent tumbles on the rocks and on the trails, but we'll clean that up. It looks okay. Nothing broken, just some scuffs. Which is gonna happen. I bought it to use it, so that's what's gonna happen to it. This is why I do these videos early, so that I can look back on them and remember when it was nice and clean and new, and then I don't feel so bad about thrashing it. I am noticing the stickers on the back there above the Ford are starting to peel off. That's a bit of a bummer. But I like it. What a fun truck. Had a blast out here. So I'm gonna head back home, hit the bench, give you guys my final thoughts in just a minute. That's going to do it for the high trail video. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. Really had a blast with this truck. I'm actually reshooting the end of this video because I had such a good time with it out on that rock course. It truly surprised me. And as tippy as it is, it really showed that when it comes down to it, if you're really tactical with your driving, you pick your lines carefully, it's got more to give than you would initially think. And I'm very impressed with the crawling ability we were able to get out of that thing. So just a ton of fun. Like any RTR, it's not without its faults. The steering's a little sluggish. It could definitely use an upgraded steering servo. But overall, really, really fun truck, and I totally dig it. Really glad I got it. So the high trail goes for $549.99. It's about $50 more than the regular TRX4. And for what you get in terms of the lift and the tires and the new bodies, I think there's good value there, especially if you like this lifted monster truck look. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the TRX4 high trail, and which model high trail is your favorite? As always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.